Welcome to FilmIn5D, the show about everything film and the 5D Mark II. I'm your host, Aaron Hammock, and this week we talk about motion tracking.
Oh, is that like Eagle Eye?
Eagle Eye? Oh, that movie?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, you know, it has you're being watched by the stuff kind of thing.
No, dude. I don't think you know what motion tracking means. I'm talking about motion tracking after. Don't worry, you'll find out today. So this week I'll be covering some of the basics of motion tracking in After Effects. Now for better motion tracking you should refer to Mocha, which comes with After Effects, but I decided not to use that since I wanted to focus on the fundamentals of motion tracking versus any shortcuts. You can use motion tracking to enhance the realism of special effects, better integrate text, and even stabilize shaky camera footage, which I'll be doing a tutorial on today. Now in After Effects there are a few ways to bring up the tracking window. You can select it in the window tab, or my personal preference, change your workspace to motion tracking. Now when you're setting up for tracking, you need to ask yourself two things. Is my subject or whatever I need to track moving, and or is my camera moving, for instance a handheld shot? Scale is another variable, but if you're tracking something in 3D, then I would recommend using Mocha. You can of course get away with using After Effects, but it's just much harder and not worth the time in my opinion. So the basic workflow consists of grabbing your clip that needs tracking and the asset that you want to add. This could be an explosion, some text, or anything really. Once you have that all sorted out, the footage you're tracking should be under the motion source, and after you track your footage, apply it to the X and Y and parent your effect or asset to the tracked layer. Now I'll be going into much greater detail with tracking tips next week when we blow up another car, and next I'll be showing you how to stabilize footage with this great tool. But first, a new sketch. Hello, I'm a Mac.
Hello, I'm a Mac.
Really PC?
Really PC.
That's funny, that's real mature.
You mad, bro? So, I heard you're getting sued for misleading customers with those Siri commercials.
Are you trying to piss me off?
Isn't that the truth?
No. Besides, check this out.
You brought that thing?
Dude, trust me, it's gonna work. Siri, call me Rock God.
From now on, I'll call you Rock, okay?
It's gonna be a
No,
while.
Siri, call me Rock God. It's gonna work, dude. Just take a couple tries. See, there it goes. Siri, what's my name?
Your PC is lame.
PC is lame. She called me that. What's up? Got you.
Very impressive.
Told you it works, man. Why are you being so mean to me? Aren't we friends?
No.
I'm not your friend either. I mean,
That's cool.
wait, what's wrong? I thought we used to be friends.
No, nothing's wrong. It's just that I don't like people who like to exclude others.
Exclude up. Wait a second. Not this again.
Look, I'm just saying, it's not very nice, dude.
Yeah, well, being inclusive isn't very cool.
Okay.
And besides, it's not the best for business.
What about the people?
You kidding me? The people? Wow. And we're back. So one of the cool things I found that you can use tracking for is to stabilize shaky handheld footage. Of course, there are tools within most programs that will stabilize footage easily, like the warp stabilizer in After Effects. But these effects are more of a post-production stabilizer, kind of like what you'd get with using a stabilizer feature on a lens like the 24-105 L series. Here we have 4 shots. The first one is a handheld tracking shot. The second, I added my DIY stabilizer. The third, I turned on image stabilization with my lens. And the fourth, I added warp stabilization. As you can see, adding the warp stabilization really helped me to smooth out the shot, but the one negative is that it does lower the clip's final resolution a tiny bit. But the stabilizing method I'm about to show you using motion tracking is for when you want a tripod-like, non-moving shot when you're shooting handheld. Alright, so here we have some handheld footage, and as you can see, it's pretty shaky. I was trying to hold it as still as I could, and I had image stabilization on my lens, but still pretty shaky. We got some wiggle. So we're going to have to mess with the position and the rotation with our track. So we're going to go over to here. We're actually going to double click this to get into the layer menu. A little layer tab right here. This allows you to change these settings. So we're going to go track motion. And we're going to click stabilize. Transform is, I'll be showing you what transform does next week with an explosion. But we're going to do stabilize right now for this tutorial. So I'm going to click rotation. I'm going to zoom in here. We have 2 points.
And and when you use these points, you want to pick an area of high contrast. Like for instance, this, red bush of flowers, not red, these red flowers right here. And you want to put your second point, somewhere else, further away. Basically, your points, you want them to be, whatever you pick for your point, you want that to be visible the entire time. And like I said, high contrast. So for the first one, I'm going to use these red flowers. If I can get over to it. And so this inner box is going to, pick which object you want to track. And this outer box is going to be from frame to frame how much this moves. Now since this is since I was trying to hold it steady, it doesn't move too far between frames. So we're just going to go ahead and assume that, a small box is good enough. We don't want to go too big or else it could mess things up, be less accurate. But at the same time, we don't want it to be too small or else we have to, the keyframes get messed up and we have to go back and reanalyze and stuff like that. So for the second track point, which is going to be our rotation, we'll pick something, let's see, I would say this yellow fire hydrant, but it's kind of covered. How about this over here? Let's see if this is in here the whole time. Once again, make the box a little bit bigger. I'm going to hit home and end to see. Okay, it is. It should be in there the entire time. Not exactly sure, but hey, we'll try it out and see how it works. And as I said before, you can start from the beginning, the end, or the middle of your clip when you're tracking. You don't have to start at the beginning or the end. I prefer to start at the beginning, but actually for stabilizing, I prefer to start where I want my framing. So in this case, I just picked some random spot, but if you like the composition of a certain frame, pick that one because that's the one where everything is going to be centered around. That's where it's going to stabilize throughout the entire shot. So we got our 2 points selected, and we're going to go ahead and analyze. Actually, I'll analyze backwards just because we're in the middle. I don't want to do the whole clip. So let me do that. I'm going to let that analyze and then come back. Alright, and we're back. Our tracking's done. As you can see, the points didn't move as far as we can tell. Yep, so that was good. And now we're going to make sure the target is the layer we're working on. If you wanted to add an explosion in, you would add it to that layer as the target. But since we're actually trying to stabilize this shot, we're going to add it to that, and then we're going to hit apply, and we're going to do it to the X and Y. And let's check these out side by side. As you can see, the one on the right is much more stable. I mean, it's not perfect and it does have a little bit of jitter, but you can add a warp stabilization to this to maybe smooth it out a little bit more. And as you can see here in After Effects, it's centering, basically anchoring those two positions, and you can see it's changing the frame, and some's going off and some's, going off the edge, and it's rotating as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to look through here. We're going to find the point that's probably like in the middle ground. And we're going to, so like right around there. I'm going to go to our clip, go to scale, and we're going to raise it up just as much as we have to. We don't want to overdo it. So there it goes. As you can see, it's in there. Okay, right there we got a little bit, so we can also hit P and we can move it down a little bit. You just don't want to lose more resolution than you have to. Right now it looks like we're losing less than, we're not even down to 720 yet, so it's pretty good. Let's go. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So like I said before, you are going to lose a little bit of resolution, but it works pretty good if you don't have a tripod on location. You can still get a tripod-like shot. And so there you go.
And that's it for this week. If you have any questions, send them to me via @mentions on twitter.com/AaronHammock. Follow the show's Twitter @FilmIn5D. And we'll be back next week to continue with motion tracking.
Hey, what happened to your arm thing?
Still using it, just thought I'd look a little bit more normal if I didn't wear it today, I guess.
Oh, but then we don't get any like sympathy likes.
I know. We don't get those anyway. Nobody gives a crap about me. They just want their tutorials. And that's it. That's fine. I don't really care. But yeah. How you doing?
I'm doing alright.
I don't care.
Oh man.
Siri, call me Rock God.
Here we go.
From now on, I'll call you Rock God.
Damn it! She got it.
Wow.
She actually got it right. That is going in the bloopers. That is a blooper if there ever was one.